raise your hands. Give me a great big Florida wave. Good job. Good job. Well, I just have a quick word of warning for you. Let's see, for those of you on the left side of the shuttle, we're going to do something special since today is a holiday. We have to have you do the shuttle tour oath before we get started. So those of you on the left side over here, raise your right hand. So you can all hear me. Raise your right hand. Point to the people to the right of you, but point politely, of course. And repeat after me. You will get a little bit wet. You will get a little bit wet.
Oh, no.
That's right, those of us on the right side, and that includes myself, we're going to be getting a little bit wet on this tour. Yeah. But that's okay. Before you do any rearranging, the reason that we're going to get a little wet is because the people over here on the left are going to get a lot wet. They're going to get soaked over here. They can't block all that water that's going to splash over the side. So those of you on the left, you'll be getting soaked. Those of us on the right will get a little wet. If you need to do any rearranging, you have about 2 minutes to do that, so go ahead.
You want to get soaked or a little wet?
No, I don't want to get soaked. Hey, are you having a good day here at the Disney MGM Studios? Oh, great. Glad to hear that. Happy holidays. You know, here at the Disney MGM Studios, we're pretty proud because we're the Orlando counterpart of the Walt Disney Studios that are out on our west coast in Burbank, California. So welcome aboard. Now, we just have a couple of quick Disney safety reminders for you. We ask that while the shuttle's moving, you want to keep your hands and legs inside. You want to remain seated, that's real important. And kids, you want to keep your parents from hanging over the sides. I know it's tempting, but just remain seated. You don't want to lose anything over the sides. You won't be able to get them back in the same condition. And of course, for the courtesy of those around you, everybody, no eating, drinking, or smoking, that's right. But feel free to shoot as much flash photography or any kind of filming that you'd like to do. Now let me introduce myself. My name is Dori. I'm going to be your guide for part 1 of the Backstage studio tour. And behind me at the wheel is our very handsome and very talented driver, Kevin. Everybody say, Happy Thanksgiving, Kevin!
Happy Thanksgiving, Kevin!
Oh, that was great. Thanks, everybody. Welcome aboard. Have a great tour.
Thanks, Kevin. Now, you're all in good hands. Kevin is one of our very safest drivers, and he's going to take us behind the scenes of our working production facilities on our actual studio back lot. So it should be a lot of fun. We're just waiting for some clearance from Shuttle Dispatch. Is everybody here ready to have a good time?
Yeah!
Okay. Well, just sit back, relax, and we're about to get started. So, where are you guys from? Where are you from?
Right here.
Right here in Orlando? How about you guys?
Park in Utah.
Utah. Get out of here. How about those of you in the back? Where are you guys from? Michigan. We're from Minnesota. Okay. And we're all clear. So Kevin's going to get us started. Bye-bye. Thank you. Okay, you can start by just waving bye-bye to the people in the shuttle station. Your shuttle's right behind us. You don't have a long way at all. So our tour is going to start right away. Now to the right is the back of our animation building. And if you take the tour that goes on inside, you may be able to see Disney animators working on the classic characters Dumbo and Peter Pan. That's for a special preview film that's going to be shown at the Euro Disneyland Preview Center over in France. Also, they recently completed work on our 29th animated feature film called The Rescuers Down Under, and it was just released last Friday. Along with that is a featurette called The Prince and the Pauper. And that's going to star Kevin's and my boss, Mickey Mouse. So, hey, speaking of Mickey Mouse, you might want to start with your cameras, get them ready, and aim them straight ahead at Kevin, because he's very photogenic. Then you might want to aim them high in the sky to the right. Now, Paris has its Eiffel Tower, but here at the Disney MGM Studios, we have our Earful Tower. And this award-winning masterpiece stands 13 stories tall, and it's capped off by a set of mousers that weigh 16 tons. So that's a hat size of, let's see, 342 3/8, in case you need to know what to knit us for Christmas. To the right is our club storage area. Those futuristic cars are from the film Blade Runner that star Harrison Ford and Rutger Hauer. The red car is a Coyote from Hardcastle and McCormick. Classic black car with the green spokes was used in the Sean Connery, Kevin Costner film, The Untouchables. And up ahead, these more colorful cars were all from the summer hit film Dick Tracy. Now just across the street, you'll be able to see the bungalows, which house the production team's offices that are currently working here at the studios. And if you look over to the right, you'll be able to wave to our very helpful host there. He's maintaining traffic for us. bungalow right next to us, Bungalow 1, is home to Touchstone Pictures. They're getting ready for production of the new film, Oscar. Right next to them in Bungalow 2 is Dick Clark Productions. Now, they filmed the game show Let's Make a Deal here at our studios, and today happens to be an attraction day, so if you're interested in being part of the studio audience, it's a good chance to win prizes. The next contestant selection time is at 5 p.m. So you want to stop by Soundstage 1 on Mickey Avenue. Well, now Kevin has steered us into a branch of our greens department. Get another shot of the Earful Tower here. You see, this is where we store plants until we later use them on the sets to hide things the camera's not supposed to see. We even have our own cast of characters here. Now, these sculpted figures are known as topiaries. You may have seen some of them at the Magic Kingdom, and they can take up to 10 years to develop. As a matter of fact, the camel and elephant there have been shaping up since way back in 1983. Now, on the ground to the right, you see a large object. It looks like a big tree trunk, but it's actually a prop. It's a giant flower stem. So can you guess what movie that's from? It's from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Right, it's from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Good guesses up here. And as we enter this tunnel, we're actually entering one of our more glamorous departments. This is creative costuming. So here it all starts with a designer sketch on the far wall. Then we have over 180 artists to manufacture original costumes for our entertainment needs. Now, those of you in the back, very soon you'll be able to look at the showcases on the left. They display original costumes actually worn by Madonna in her role of Russell Smolley and Warren Beatty in the title role of the film Dick Tracy. You also see the Jolly Holiday dress worn by Julie Andrews. That was 26 years ago in her Academy Award-winning performance of Mary Poppins. Did anybody see Captain EO over at Epcot Center? We have a special treat. We have the original silver spacesuit worn by Michael Jackson in that 3D movie, as well as costumes worn by the co-stars of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So you can see our designers stay real busy inside. Last year they used over 175,000 yards of fabric. That helped to make us the largest working wardrobe in the entire world. Now these are only a few of our over 2.5 million garments that we have here. Next to costuming, we have our lighting department. And today it looks a little bit dark inside, but actually this is where we can provide up to 3.5 million watts of light. That's for use either on or off the set. We'll see, to give you a better idea, that would be enough power to light up the entire city of nearby beautiful Orlando, Florida. And then our makeup shop, this is where we display partially completed masks and maquettes for some of the villains in the film Dick Tracy. You might recognize some of them. There's Big Boy Caprice, Mumbles, Flat Top, Prune Face, Little Face, and the Blank, just to name a few. All of those Chester Gould characters. In our camera department, technicians have a real important job. They maintain the film and video equipment that we use here in our studios. Finally, up ahead in our scenic shop, this is where carpenters begin the work of sets that are later completed right on the sound stages. Now, if you look up ahead, you'll see they're working on a billboard for the rescuers down under. What they do is they project the image up there, they trace the outline to make it accurate, and our artists come in and hand paint each one of those billboards. They're also working on sets for Let's Make a Deal right now. And when a set is used over and over in this business, we use it, or we make it known as a standing set. That means it doesn't get taken down, it doesn't get struck. And it can be very simple. It can be as simple as a kitchenette, maybe on your favorite soap opera, or it can be as elaborate as our set for Let's Make a Deal. I hope you'll stick around for part 2, because that's where you'll see that beautiful set. And when production crews travel from place to place to film on location, well, sometimes they have problems, I think you guys may be familiar with. Things like traffic and crowds. So they like to shoot here on a backlot where they can have at least a little bit more control. This part of our backlot happens to be known as Residential Street. So if you look over to the right, you'll see that the houses on Residential Street are actually just facades. That means they're empty shells. I guess that kind of gives new meaning to the sign out in front that says open house. And if they're a little bit drafty, it's all right, because you're on the backlot. We can even control the weather. Now, this first house was used in an Isotoner glove commercial, so we needed a Christmas scene. We brought in 30 tons of shaved ice to simulate snow. We shot as quickly as possible, because the result was a white Christmas in the middle of July, about 90 degrees then. This Midwestern-style home to your right was used in the Touchstone comedy Ernest Saves Christmas that starred Jim Varney. For those of you who saw it, that was used as Vern's home. And just across the street, parked in front of the blue house, is a blue Cadillac used in the film Tin Man. That starred Richard Dreyfuss and Danny DeVito. Okay, so does anybody here stay home on Saturday nights like I do and just sit around and watch TV? Well, if you do, you probably recognize the beige Hawaiian style house on your left. Now, that's the television home of B. Arthur, Estelle Getty, Rue McClanahan, and Betty White. I think I heard it up here. How about those of you in the back? This is the Emmy Award-winning Golden Girls. Now, the exterior shots are filmed here on our backlot, and then later on they're edited together with interior footage on our soundstage. Hey, Mickey Mouse, everybody! Chip and Dale, they're all over here to the right in our backlot playground. How's it going over there? Have you guys been getting those Christmas decorations ready? Chip and Dale, you guys were supposed to gather the nuts. You guys got to get busy pretty soon here. Donald, how's it going up there? You swinger, you. All right, well, they're just here to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Mickey's getting the picnic table all ready for you. Thanks for coming by, guys. Hey, you guys, I think you left your toys out in front of the yard in the blue colonial-style home. Uh-oh. Where's Pluto? Is he over there in the doghouse? They left their toys in the yard, the American flag, the Frisbee newspaper up on the roof, even those scuff marks on the garage door. Okay, I admit, they weren't really added by our characters. They were really added by set decorators to make the house look lived in, realistic. Kind of tells you a little about the family that doesn't really live there. Finally, up ahead on the left, this is our backlot church. Those wooden shingles, the simple windows, and the clapboard siding, those are the details to make the church appropriate to a small town. But just up ahead, we have the big city. Now this is our New York street. It was recently opened up to you guests. You'll be able to visit it soon. But before we do that, we're going to turn the corner so I can point out something I don't get to see very often on this tour. And that's those of you in the back. So how you doing back there? Let's hear it from you guys. Good job. Now, our studios are rapidly expanding, so right now we're only about a third the size we'll be in a few years. To the left is a good example of this expansion. The future home to the Muppet Studios. They'll open in spring of '91, so I hope you'll come back and see Kermit and the whole Muppet gang bring the art of movie making to a new dimension with Muppet Vision 3D. It's a lot of fun having the Muppets with us here at Disney. To the right, this is our canal boneyard. We store planes, trains, automobiles, even spaceships from past productions here. So those of you in the back are getting a close look at the blue car driven by Bob Hoskins in his role of Eddie Valiant in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And the circus wagon is from the Disney Channel's Dumbo's Circus. Now just up ahead, this black and red train cab here was in the film Tough Guys, starred Burt Lancaster, Kirk Douglas, and Eli Wallach. And this was the scene for some of their famous fight scenes up on top of the train. If you're a Star Wars fan, we have the original Snowspeeder, piloted by Mark Hamill in The Empire Strikes Back, as well as the brown sand skiff that was actually used by Harrison Ford and Billy D. Williams. That was when they were escaping the sandpit monster in Return of the Jedi. Okay, does anybody recognize the silver space pod here? Looks kind of like a, oh, we got it right away. Looks like a conch shell, but that's from the 1986 Disney film Flight of the Navigator. Sounds like we have some fans here in our front car. Now just up ahead, we'll be passing an orange and red trolley car. You may remember it from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Eddie Valiant tried to hitch a ride to work on that. But what you probably won't remember is that this trolley car is actually a modified bus. Now using a bus saved us a lot of time and money moving it. We didn't have to lay tracks down on our back lot. As we said before, the houses on Residential Street are just facades. You can see that the house that our characters are playing in the backyard of. Now this is kind of a backstage view of this house. Take a look at the shingles on their roof. You notice how they only extend just beyond camera range? Well, that's because we only build what the camera needs to see. That's kind of an old movie trick you guys are pretty familiar with, known as saving money. The camera needs to see something that isn't there. Let's see, a good example would be an oil field in a rocky canyon. You normally wouldn't find that here in Central Florida, so when one was needed for the upcoming film Catastrophe Canyon, their set designers came in and built one themselves. Now, I think they did a great job. Were they saying turn back? I don't know why, because their set designers built one themselves. Now, you guys can judge for yourselves how good this set is, because, of course, today is a holiday. We're not filming. But I guess they were testing some special effects. Kim, do we have clearance to be in here? time is money in the movie-making business, so we can't just wait around for the weather. When the director yells action, on cue, the rain's got to be ready to fall. I told you you'd get a little bit wet. Now, this illusion of rain is made with the help of powerful water spouts that are just overhead. Of course, they're out-of-camera rain. Nozzles on the ends of the spout spray water outward in a circular pattern. That's what gives it that real wind-blown and kind of natural look. Well, but there's Kevin, do we have clearance to meet here? That's it. Okay, there seems to be some kind of problem with the, just don't worry, all you have to do... Is it safe? Well, folks, what did you think of that? Well, cool. Hey, Kevin, we're all clear anytime you were, but what did you think about their acting? You guys are pretty good, huh? Yeah, Kevin says you guys really look scared, but hey, do you guys want to do it again? I guess Kevin got a little bit too scared, so he's going to get us out of here as fast as he can for the next date. Hey, you guys deserve your honor with flies. You guys are great. We can hear your screams in the back, way up here. Good job back there. But as you probably guessed by my very poor acting, this Catastrophe Canyon is not a real set at all. Actually, we built this so you guys could get a first-hand look at just how real some of the special effects can be. As we turn the corner, we're going to let you in on the secret of what the canyon's really made out of. It's actually a steel structure covered with wire mesh, layered with a colored cement skin that's hand-sculpted to make it look like rock formations. And those of you just coming out of the shuttle, you might notice those yellow pipes. Well, those carry the gas for the fire and explosion. Up ahead, these larger white pipes carried the water used in the flash flood. And that flash flood was started when we opened the gates of 3 large holding tanks that are just overhead. And we sent over 70,000 gallons of water thundering toward our shuttle. To add to the effect, some of the water was blown down the canyon with powerful air cannons and steam cannons. Kind of gives the effect of water splashing off rocks. Well, those cannons are powerful enough to shoot a basketball up and over the top of the Empire State Building. And of course, that's from New York City now. It's not from here at Walt Disney World. Pumps 1 and 2 are recycling all the water, and the earthquake you felt was caused by powerful shaker tables underneath each car of our shuttle. I see Catastrophe Canyon was built with the help of a real Hollywood special effects team, so it seemed to be an out-of-control disaster. Really was. A safe, computerized sequence of events. Believe it or not, it only takes 3.5 minutes to reset, and that's just enough time for another shuttle load of unsuspecting victims. Visitors, excuse me, visitors. Sorry about that. Okay, folks, once again, if you look over to the left, you'll be able to see the Mother Goose set, which was used in the Disney Channel's Mother Goose Rock and Rhyme earlier this summer. Starred Shelley Duvall, Harry Anderson, a whole cast of characters, Gary Shandling, Terry Garrett. Was a lot of fun. And next to that, we have some of the bridge gears that were used in the final fight scenes of the film Dick Tracy. Now, you might notice that we used primary colors in that film that kind of gave us the comic book look. As I said before, being in complete control is very important here at the studios, and that's why production crews like to shoot here, as well as all over Disney property. Now, they're frequently filming at Epcot Center and World Showcase, and as a matter of fact, this old wooden keelboat here was used in the 1977 Disney film, The Treasures of Montekumbe, that starred Peter Ustinov, and some of the scenes for that film were actually shot at Bay Lake, which is just behind the Contemporary Resort Hotel over the Magic Kingdom. Kind of sentimental to us because it was one of the first films shot here on Disney property in Florida. Once again, to the right, you'll be able to see the steel structures which hold up our facade. Now, these are built with Florida weather in mind, so they can withstand hurricane winds of over 100 miles an hour. To the left is our backlot church, and up ahead it's going to turn into a big city cathedral because now we're in our big city. And you can see that our guests here are getting ready for a show done by the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so you might be able to check your show schedules and catch their show. Notice how real the buildings look. Remember, they're just facades. There's not a brick in the place. Point your cameras to the right because we're getting a good look at our New York City skyline. Those skyscrapers off in the distance are really just painted flat, only about 2 blocks away. And of course, while the stonework and masonry look very real, these are all made out of steel, fiberglass, cement, believe it or not, styrofoam. It's covered with a thin coat of cement to add texture, but then it's our talented Disney artists who paint and age the buildings to make them look so real. And they've also hand-painted the gum on the sidewalks. Now that brings us to part 2 of the Backstage studio tour. So Kevin and I are pretty disappointed because you guys have been a lot of fun, but you'll be leaving our shuttle here. You're going to go on to part 2, which is a great 45-minute tour. You're going to love it. We'll take you on our sound stages. You might want to follow Roger Rabbit's footsteps first to the restrooms, Backstage Plaza, New York Street, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle show, or Mickey Avenue, where you can continue on out into the park. But don't forget about part 2. And on behalf of Kevin, our driver, remember, my name is Dori, and we sure like to thank you for joining us on part 1 of the Backstage Studio Tour. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. Watch your head and step as you exit. Please be sure to step out all the way beyond the blue pole. Hey, have a great day at the Disney MGM Studios, and happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay, I said bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye. There you go. Bye. Thanks for coming. That's a wrap. Just wait just a second. I can get you.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a wrap.
Just a few moments.
Here we are, seeing another part of Dori's job. Yes, the Backstage studio tour. She was playing hallway monitor, but oh, there she is. Yes, zoom in on that happy hallway monitor. Hi. Oh boy, is that it? Yeah, get your new earring. What's she doing? This is what you really do. Okay. One more good speed. Yeah. Okay, great.